Right, now it's time for us to jive with the Jet, and I have a feeling this guy would be pretty useful in the boxing ring. Joining us is one of the key members of the team's defense. He's a former first-round draft pick who was a four-time Pro Bowler. He joined the Jets in 2019 and plays at linebacker. And trust me, if you had a ball in your hand, the last person you'd want running at you is this man. Hello to J Mosley. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. You're coming off back-to-back wins against the Steelers and the Dolphins. What's it like inside the locker room right now?
Very charismatic. We're all excited. We're all excited about the opportunity that we presented for ourselves. We put a lot of work in these past few weeks trying to get our team right, motivating everybody, practicing right, doing the right things, and it's paying off on the field. So it's been really fun.
And you're a bit of a hype man, aren't you, in the locker room? Because some of those speeches I see and hear you handing out are something I expect from any given Sunday. Wonderful.
Yeah, I guess I've turned into the hype man. If you would have asked me this a few years ago, I never would have told you I'd be the one in the middle of the huddle giving the speeches and, getting everybody hyped up, man. But I've definitely embraced it a lot, just going to, as this got into my later careers and being in the position that I am as, one of the captains, one of the leaders on the defense, just being able to talk to my teammates, talk to my brothers and family, and really just speak from the heart and mind. Sometimes I might see a quote or hear a quote there, but I'm really just feeding off, the energy that everybody else is giving me. I'm just, shooting from the dome.
Is that a difficult transition for you, though? Because like you said, you were always a lead by example guy. Now you become more of that vocal leader. Or is that a byproduct of you're just now one of the elder statesmen in that locker room?
I think it's a little bit of both. You understand where you are in your career in different parts. I didn't need to talk as much when I was in Baltimore because we had, those veterans, you had those leaders that can do that every day. And I just stood by and waited my turn and, definitely listened and followed. And, a lot of stuff that I do now, a lot of things that I say, my characteristics, the way I present myself at work on and off the field, a lot that's a byproduct of, just the way I was raised through my parents, but also just been in the league a long time and seeing a lot of really good pros and really a lot of good players and good men just be my mentors and just watch how they conducted themselves. So I just try to do the same thing and share that NFL life tenfold when as I'm the older guy now, with the younger guys looking up to me.
Is that something you maybe? Oh, sorry, Richie.
Go on, DJ.
Because you're talking about, of course, the time that you spent in this league. And I wonder, when you try to impart wisdom onto some of the younger players, maybe they're in their first, second season, the average career, you certainly have outlived the average career in the National Football League. Is that something that you kind of preach onto them, is that, tomorrow is not something you should take for granted? It's not promised to you, that just make the most of every opportunity you have in this league while you can?
In a sense, yeah, because, you hear it all the time. Coach is going to tell you that. Obviously, the older players are going to tell you that. And, for the most part, you kind of understand that football isn't going to be forever, but you really don't understand until you get a little bit older. It really starts to click in because you start thinking about, those things, like what's going to go on after football, or, what's my plan in the offseason. You're a little younger, you just kind of go with the wind. Now you got your family, you got this and that, you got to really plan everything out for your summers. But, for the most part, it's really a blessing to start as a rookie, being an organization where you got a bunch of players and coaches that really are driven to be a champion and mold you to be a champion, and you get an opportunity to go somewhere else and try to build that same mentality, try to build that same character in the building. And we've definitely did a great job getting the right people upstairs and on the field to have that mindset. So like I said, man, just for me, all I'm doing is just sharing the same wisdom that was shared to me when I was a younger player. So man, I'm happy to be in this spot that I am, and I'm glad that people listen to me.
I'm sure.
CJ, you've been involved in two truly stunning comebacks, but what's it like for you knowing that your defense has done its job and having to stand and watch the offense to see if they can get the win? Are you a good watcher?
Yes, I'm a good watcher when we're not breaking down our plays on defense, when we're not figuring out what we have to do. But it's been real fun. It's been fun competing. It's been fun being out on the football field, in the heat of the battle. We're getting off the field on third downs and 2 minutes into the half, end of the game, big time situations. All those type of things that goes with with having a defense that can be top in this league. One of our biggest things is our turnovers. We've been towards the bottom of the map for a long time, and we've been really balling out, getting the ball as far as fumbles, turnovers, sacks, all those type of things. And that's just us working hard in practice and really trying to get the ball out and score and get our offense the ball to make plays.
How about in the fourth quarter, too? I mean, the old saying, games are won and lost in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh, you guys scored 2 touchdowns unanswered, finish out the game. Yesterday, 2-point game going into the fourth quarter, 21-0 over the final 15. You guys make a big play on defense, helping out the offense. Is that something you guys preach in that room, that, hey, final 15 minutes, that can win or lose you a football game?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We preach on situational football all the time. Teams that are prepared for those moments before they come, those usually are the team that's going to be more successful. And that just goes back to us executing. That's one of the main things we're talking about, keeping it about us, keeping the main thing, and execution, because that's what wins you balls games.
CJ, let's delve into your position a little bit more now. As we said, you're a linebacker. Can you explain to our UK audience the nitty-gritty of what it takes to be a linebacker, what skills you need, and what separates it from the other positions on the pitch?
Yeah, so for a linebacker, there's actually 3 different linebackers. You got a middle linebacker, you have a wheel linebacker, and a Sam linebacker. So that can be middle or outside linebacker. So I'm in the middle. So there's 3 people. There's 2 on the edge and 1 in the middle. So the one usually linebacker in the middle, that's the guy that's usually the captain on the defense and gives out the call. That's a signal caller. So if you see anybody with a green dot on offense or defense in the back of the helmet, that lets you know that they have the microphone in their head to get the calls from the coach. So I think it's usually about 15 seconds on the clock before you can get a actual call out before the NFL cuts out the microphone. But once you get the call out, I'm pretty much the quarterback of the defense. I get everybody lined up. I get everybody to call, make all the checks, and I try my best to get everybody in the right position, and everybody else do a great job of listening and getting all the calls and checks out so we can all be on the same page. So if you're familiar with the quarterback, I'm really just a quarterback on the defensive side.
CJ, you're going to have to forgive this really confused look on my face. Did I hear you say you got a microphone in your helmet?
Yes. So there's two little orange little circles. If you're looking, you'll find it easier in the quarterback. So next time you watch a game, check out Zach Wilson. You see 2 little orange circles on the side of this earpiece, and that's what a microphone is.
I'm curious. You said you have 15 seconds before the league, like the communication thing, they cut it off inside your ear. Does there ever come a time to where, like, maybe if the coach is a little uncertain about the call that they want to employ for that play, like that he gets cut off, and then maybe you don't hear the whole call if he's going back and forth with something? Maybe
some offenses like to get a little tricky. They might hold out a certain
formations and stuff.
A certain formation and sub in somebody late. So if you don't get a call, that's we usually go to our hand signal. So all of our calls, we have a hand signal with them. So I just look to the sideline to give a call. If you don't have enough time, I just throw one out of my head. So whichever the main call of the week, that's what we're running.
CJ, is it possible to hook up your phone to the speakers in your head and play a little bit of music while you're playing in a really important NFL match?
No, just a one-way street. Only the coach can talk to us. We can't talk back. But that would be pretty cool. Might be a little bit of a distraction, though.
Speaking of the music, though, what's like pre-game? Are you a music guy? Like, what gets you in the mood? What gets you hyped up to go out there and play 4 quarters?
I usually just put it on randoms, but usually a little bit of hip hop and rap. I've been calm enough. I've been zen enough to listen to a little bit of R&B and throwback at some points, but the music usually doesn't get me to a certain level. I'm already at that level. The music just helps me, kind of get my blood going. So before the games, it's a little more upbeat, maybe a little more rap, a little more hip hop. And right before we got on the field, I like to read over my notes. So either I just put on my noise cancellation headphones, or I might throw on a little something more chill. So just to kind of get my mind right. But it's
any personal favorites?
Personal favorites. Well, I'm definitely a big Future fan, so he's probably number 1 on my list. So if I don't have anything, I'll probably just throw on some old Future or something new. So
listen, CJ, you were announced as a team captain this season as well, alongside Zach Wilson and Justin Hardy. What's the added pressure like of being a captain? What does it mean in an NFL squad? And are you relishing it, or does it take some getting used to?
No, I wouldn't say for me it doesn't take any getting used to. I've always tried to look at myself as a leader by example, just doing the right things all the time on and off the field. And when I got presented team captain last year with pretty much with the new team, it was an honor for me. Anytime you can get any kind of award, from your brothers or from your peers, anybody that you're working with, man, that's a big blessing. Because all I try to do is just do my job and be the best person I can be the best teammate, be the best man, or all of the above, and for everybody to really look up to me in that manner, it definitely means a lot, and I don't take it for granted.
Your dad's a big influence on you, right? Worked in shipyards for a long time. How has influence affected you in terms of leadership, and how what you witnessed him and growing up and the lessons he taught you as to what you try to impart on some of your teammates now as being one of the leaders on this team?
I would mainly say the work ethic. The times just from growing up from me remembering, him traveling to Birmingham early in the mornings or for, week trips, him getting up early to, drop me and my brother off to work, and him go to work, him picking us up after school after those long hours. All you saw was just a lot of work and no complaining really. And, he was just getting the job done because that's what he was supposed to do. And that was his job, to provide for his family. So, this is my family here. All the sacrifices that I make on and off the field, everything I'm asked to do, good, bad, and indifferent, doesn't matter. It's all for one purpose, it's all for the team. So I think a lot of his work ethic, his motivation, his willingness to do the right thing and be unselfish about it. That's all byproduct of him.
Great. That's beautiful. Love that. Earlier on, we were talking about Le'Veon Bell and stepping inside the boxing ring. So I'm going to have to put you on the spot, CJ, and ask you who you would back the most amongst your teammates to be the best boxer.
I'm not sure. Le'Veon was probably the first player that I've been with that actually took boxing classes outside of football practice. I didn't think you can have enough energy. For a second, I thought I wasn't doing enough work outside of football.
He was recording rap albums too and everything. Yeah,
he was getting it done. I tell you that, he was getting it done. That'd be a tough one. For showmanship, I'm gonna go with Michael Carter, because he can be like a little Muhammad Ali. He can get the crowd going.
Michael Carter, the running back or the defensive back? The running back, Michael Carter. That's your buddy, Richie.
Yeah, MC.
Oh yeah.
He can definitely sell some tickets. He'll definitely get people in there. So if he doesn't fit in the boxing, he can definitely be the promoter for it. But we got a couple two-way athletes. Now I'm thinking about George Fant, and I know he's a big guy, but he was a baller too. He hoops, so he got good footwork, a little hand-eye coordination there. So we got a few athletes out there that I think can give a little rumble in the ring. Don't know how long they're gonna last, but I think they'll step in and give it a shot.
They have a lot of guys on the team, Richie. Like as CJ was saying, they were basketball players even in college, and then went on to become professional football players. Believe it or not, so really good athletes in multiple sports.
Mad, multi-talented. CJ, in case you didn't already know, I'm 3,437 miles away from you in London. And you've been over twice, haven't you? 2017 and then last year with the Jets. And
Yes.
I noticed you led the defensive stats both times. You love a bit of London, don't you?
London is nice. Fortunately, I have 2 losses with that, so I don't really remember my stats that well. But just the opportunity to be in London, to leave the country, it was awesome just to be in that environment. Especially last year, even more than the first year I was there when I was in Tottenham, and London did the national anthem, so it was obviously at the. What's the name of the stadium? The Spurs. Yeah. Tottenham Spurs. So obviously I like soccer a little bit. I'm not 100% just all in, know every single player, but I know the right team. So I know that was a big stadium to be at. And when the national anthem came on and everybody started singing, just got straight Premier League vibes. So that was really dope to be a part of. So I feel like we was about to get ready for a soccer match when we was there last year.
Listen, you just said to me, the right teams. So I've got to ask you.
Yeah.
Who is your team?
So I first got affiliated with soccer because I started playing FIFA, and that was FIFA 2011. So I was still in college. So at that time, I didn't know how to pick different teams. So the first team was Juventus. That was the first team I played with. But then I worked my way around, and I ended up playing with Chelsea a lot. So the old school Chelsea team. So you got Fernando Torres. You got what's my guy name?
Didier Drogba.
Pogba. I mean Drogba. I was a big Drogba fan. So I would just stick with Chelsea because that's who I started with. I'm already a bandwagon for the most part, so I don't want to just jump to the team that got all the best players. So I'm gonna just stick with my men in blue.
So think about, Richie, think about this. We've done a few of these shows already, and we've had Jets on. CJ and CJ Uzama, as a matter of fact, both Chelsea fans. How about that? Maybe it's the CJ and the Chelsea connection. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Right?
I got to say, CJ, I thought we'd get on far better than this. But that's fine. Listen, each to their own. I'll move very, very swiftly on to a final question. Listen, when UK New York Jets fans go over to New York, where would you recommend them to go to eat? We've been talking about food earlier on and how the Americans do food incredibly. So what's your spot? Where would you send them?
Important question.
It is an important question. I'm not really a guy that eat out a lot, especially going in the city. It's a little ways away. But I have been to STK Steak. That's a good place to go to. I would say I'm more of a seafood and steak. That's probably an easier choice for me. You got Catch Steak, you got Catch Seafood. Those are some popular places. This place called Pergola. They have a really good spot. A lot of food there. A lot of good food there. But when people ask me that, I just give them an easy answer. I mean, it's New York City. Whatever you like, you can find it.
He's right about that.
So whatever you like, it's going to be some section in the city you can go to and get some of the most organic or some of the best food. So I mean, anywhere from pizza to salad, you can. It's a big menu for you.
Well, let me ask you on that subject though, with food. After a victory, home game, for example. Okay, so you don't have to worry about traveling or anything. You have a little bit more time at the crib. What's the victory Sunday night meal? Is there one in particular that you maybe like to skew towards?
Honestly, it depends on the game. So sometimes you're a little more beat after the game. You might get something a little lighter. Sometimes you're not even that hungry, so you might just eat a couple fruits. But I would probably using my parents at home, so we're gonna have a nice home cooked meal. So that's probably gonna involve some type of barbecue. Might probably be some baked beans in there, some mac and cheese. Might throw some mashed potatoes.
He's talking about eating light. That's a feast. That's a feast.
That's a good day. That's on a good day.
That's a good day.
That's on a good day.
Yeah, but look at the size of him as well. He's an absolute unit, especially compared to me. My gosh.
I saw your uniform. You put it on pretty well.
See that? You wear the uniform good, he says there.
Hey, we try. All again, no idea. CJ, before I let you go, I just need to give you the heads up that I'm a Manchester United fan and we play Chelsea in a couple of weeks' time. So I'll be in touch with you, sir.
Okay.
But only if we win. Only if we win. Otherwise, I'm running for the hills.
Yeah, right.
CJ, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Top man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, CJ.